welcome in for another edition of Today is the Single Life. Um, Guys, like I'm always so excited when we get the opportunity to come together from my dining room to your car, your lunch break, your office, your home, wherever you are, man. It's always an awesome time for us to be able to come together and share. Um, God, I want to jump in today. Of course, I'll give everybody time to kind of get on and get acclimated. But we got an interesting topic, an interesting perspective that I want to share from today. And I hope that you guys will kind of stay locked in and allow me to really work this thing out so you can really kind of see it from a very broad perspective. Because I promise you, I'm going to initially share from a place that may throw a few people off. Uh, but over the course of the stream, you guys should see how those dots connect and how all things are able to line up and connect on every level. Of course, I'm always grateful, super grateful for everybody that jumps on the stream and kind of tunes in and gets active with us every Monday. It's a blessing. And as always, I'm encouraging you guys to any questions that you have, any thoughts, any perspectives, by all means, jump in the chat so I can see them and address them. And I absolutely will get to those things. So, without further ado, though, I want to jump into today's topic, okay? Because you guys know we've been talking about dating and we've been talking about dating from different perspectives and different avenues and things like that, right? All right, so today, listen, I need you to bear with me because we're going to really work something out. So I need you to bear with me, okay? Um, what if we started to view, or what if there was truly an understanding that dating was truly a distraction? Yeah, think about it. What if dating was truly a distraction from God? Okay, just table that, because that's where we're going to work from, right? The topic of the message today is called Dating the Big Distraction, right? Dating the Big Distraction, dating dash the big distraction, okay? So I'm going to ask you guys real quick, right? Have you guys ever been to like a magic show, or you've seen like a magician do things, and in the moment when you're watching that, like you are just enamored by the tricks that are being done in front of you, right? Like, oh my God, like how did they do that? Like, how could they make this happen? How do they make that? Like, you are just so enamored in the moment, right? And then I don't know if you guys have ever watched kind of when they show you like a behind the scenes of how they do certain tricks. And really what it's about is they show you and they make you focus on one side and they're doing the switch or the change on the other side. But you miss the switch or the change because you're focused on what they want you to focus on, so you don't see it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, think about that. And that's what makes the trick so great, is that they get you so caught up looking right here that you never see what's going on over here. And when they bring this up, it's like, boom, oh my God, wow. But you missed it. Why did you miss it? Because you were distracted. You were distracted. So in the moment of distraction, you were focused on the wrong thing. And because you were focused on the wrong thing, what really needed to happen happened right before your eyes, but you missed it, okay? So I'm going to ask y'all a couple questions. I want to jump into a couple texts, right? And I'm going to ask you questions based on this text. The first question I want to ask you guys, and feel free to comment in the chat, but is God all knowing? Is God all knowing? Do you guys still believe in 2024 that God is all knowing? Is God all knowing? That's the first question. While you are answering that, I want to jump to Proverbs 19:21, and I want to do the Good News translation, the GNT translation. Proverbs 19:21, and I want the Good News translation. I'm going to give you guys a couple different translations today, okay? All right, so Proverbs 19. Yeah. Proverbs 19:21, the Good News translation. All right. So it says in text, people may plan all kinds of things, but the Lord's will is going to be done. Think about that. All right. So people may plan all kinds of things, but the Lord's will is going to be done. All right. Pause. Table that. People may plan all kinds of things, but the Lord's will is going to be done. Now, let's look at Jeremiah 29:11. I want the message version. Jeremiah 29:11, message version. All right, Jeremiah 29:11, message version. I'm gonna give you 10 and 11. This is God's word on the subject. As soon as Babylon's 70 years are up and not a day before, I'll show up and take care of you as I promised and bring you back home. I know what I'm doing. I have it all planned out. Plans to take care of you, not abandon you. Plans to give you the future you hope for. Got it? This is God's word on the subject. As soon as Babylon's 70 years are up and not a day before, I'll show up and take care of you as promised and bring you back home. I know what I'm doing. God, I know what I'm doing. I have it all planned out. Plans to take care of you, not abandon you. Plans to give you the future you hope for. Got it? Those two right there. All right, boom. I'm going to give you a third one. Hebrews 11, 1 through 2. And I want the message. Hebrews 11, 1 through 2. And I'm going to get, and I want it from the message version. Boom, 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 boom. Here we go. All right. Hebrews 11, 1 through 2, message version. The fundamental fact of existence is that this trust in God, this faith is the firm foundation under everything that makes life worth living. It is our handle on what we cannot see. The act of faith is what distinguished our ancestors and set them above the crowd. I'll read it again. Hebrews 11, 1 through 2, the message version. The fundamental fact of existence is this trust in God. This faith is the firm foundation under which everything that makes life worth living. It is our handle on what we cannot see. The act of faith is what distinguished our ancestors and set them above the crowd. All right. So here we go. So now I just gave you some text. And you may be wondering, what does that text have anything to do with dating? How does this text help us in dating? How? Here's what remember, today's message is called Dating the Big Distraction. Now, if these scriptures are true, and if you guys believe that God is all knowing, I'm going to ask you a simple question. And I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to look at the chat because I want to hear your responses. Who invented trial and error? Who invented trial and error? Do you guys think that trial and error is something that God put in place? I am absolutely waiting on responses. Do you guys think that trial and error is something that God put in place, or is that something that we, in all of our intelligence and all of our, whatever you want to call it, that we created trial and error? Do you guys believe that trial and error is a thing of God, or is that a thing of us? Us, humans, that we created trial and error. The reason why I say that is this. You guys just looked at the three texts that we just examined. And in those three texts, we are covering the fact that God's plans are the only plans that will reign supreme. We also looked at texts that provided us with God saying he will take care of us. We also looked at texts that said that God has outlined plans for our lives. So let me ask you this, right? If God has outlined plans for our lives and God knows the way we should move and God is all knowing, then the whole premise of dating, we must be going about it backwards, because God is not a God of trial and error. God is not a God of trial and error. God has a plan, and God's plan is correct. God's plan never misses. God's plan never fails. God's plan, listen, so much so that if God said today that you are going to have 6 fingers on your left hand, by the time you blink your eyes, you will have 6 fingers, because God's words cannot return void. What he says must be done. Got it? Understand that. So then let's look at this big ball of wax called dating. So if trial and error is not a thing, then why do we keep taking it upon ourselves to date this person? And again, guys, listen, you all know I will never try to sit here and talk to you like I have mastered this and I have perfected this and I got this. I am learning just like you all are learning, right? But if that's the case, trial and error is not a thing of God. And we have made dating nothing but this huge arena of trial and error. I dated this person. We dated for a while. That didn't work out. I dated the next person. We dated for like 2 years. That didn't work out. I dated another person. Oh, we were together. Maybe you even got married, right? And the marriage didn't work out. You got married again, and the marriage didn't work out. And then you hit the dating scene again, and it didn't work out. Why? Because we must be going about the process of dating the wrong way. If you guys agree with what I said earlier, when you said God is all knowing, and my job is to go to God and get answers from God, not me go and date. Because, see, when we date, we're dating based on what we see, right? And the word says, "For we walk by faith and not by sight." That is a very important concept for us to start to understand, because God says your eyes will deceive you. Your eyes are only seeing what is physically there. They cannot see past that. So we have to walk by faith and not by sight. We cannot just go by what we see. But when we date, we're judging by what we see. When we date, we're going by what we physically see. Oh man, she's very beautiful. I want to talk to her. I want to date her. I want to get to know her. Oh man, he's a very attractive guy. You want to see what he's talking about, right? Oh man, it looks like they checked some boxes that I had in my mind, so I want to go explore that. See, this concept is not just for an age bracket. This concept is for everybody that is single and that is going through the motions of dating. We're doing it the wrong way, because God has a plan for us. If God has a plan for us, do you think included in that plan is the person that you're supposed to be with? Right? It's like it's like going to a restaurant and getting a combo meal, right? But they leave off parts of the combo. No, this is a combo meal. So it comes with fries, it comes with a drink, and it comes with a meal. You got to understand, when God outlined the plans for your specific life, He didn't leave parts out. He planned it perfectly. It's a masterful plan, well written. You just got to execute it. Okay, I'm going to ask y'all this. When I was younger and I used to ride with my mom would always make us go through a series of confessions every day. Like, you may have heard me talk about it. We've gone through a series of confessions every day. We would do Psalms 91. I don't even know what we would call it, but like, essentially, it was, you would call out all the names of God, like Jehovah Jireh, my provider, Jehovah Shammah, the Lord is there. Jehovah Sikkenu, my, like, you would go through all these names, right? But the one that hit me when I was working today was Jehovah Jireh, my provider. I'm asking you guys, do you believe that God is your provider? Do you believe that God is your provider? Serious question. And I need you to stand on it. If you truly believe that God is your provider, I need you to stand on it, because I got a B question that's really more important than the A question, right? So you have answered it for yourself. Is God your provider? Jehovah Jireh, my provider. If God is the provider and you guys are starting to come through with yes, 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 okay, cool. What is He to provide? What is He to provide? He is your provider, but where does He say, I only provide health? I only provide financial increase. I only provide peace. I only provide joy. No, He provides everything. So wherever there is a need, you got to seek Jehovah Jireh, your provider. You have a need, you seek the provider. You think about it. If you have a device, or if you have a phone service and something goes wrong, you seek the provider. I have Verizon. Excuse me, because I believe Verizon is the best phone service out there, right? But if I have an issue with Verizon, or something's going on my phone, I am calling Verizon, because they are my provider. My provider is Verizon. I seek Verizon when there is a problem. So if God is our provider and we are clearly having problems in dating, it's not lining up the way it should, or it's not lining up the way we thought it would, our job is to now seek the provider, because it's His job to provide. What does He provide? Everything. Everywhere there is a need, you seek Jehovah Jireh, because He is your provider. Okay, you didn't like that. Don't worry, I got you. Okay, let's look at this. Give me Psalms 34, 8 through 10. I want the message. Psalms 34, 8 through 10, and I want the Message translation. I'm fine if you like another translation, but this is just the translation I chose to go with, right? So Psalms 34, 8 through 10 from the Message translation. It says, open your mouth and taste. Open your eyes and see how good God is. Blessed are you who run to him. Think about this now. So God first says, don't just take my word for it. Test me. Test me. How do you test me? He says, taste and see. He's telling you to test me and see that I am good to you. Test me and see that I am your provider. Test me and see that I won't leave you high and dry by yourself. Test me as God, and I'll show it to you every time I don't miss. And that is God talking, right? Okay, so open your mouth and taste. Open your eyes and see how good God is. Blessed are you who run to him. Verse 9. Worship God if you want the best. Worship opens doors to all his goodness. Now, here's 10 though. Verse 10 is what I like. It hit me with something different. Young lions on the prowl get hungry, but God seekers are full of God. Again, verse 10. Young lions on the prowl get hungry, but God seekers are full of God. What does that mean? Let's start to dissect that for a second, right? So young lions on the prowl, they're hungry. They're out looking. They're looking for something. Would you happen to agree with this parallel that in the dating game, in the single life, we have become young lions on the prowl, and that's why we are seeking something that we have not been able to find yet because we are looking in the wrong direction. But God seekers are full of what? God. What is that? What picture am I painting? When it comes to dating, our job is to seek God, to truly seek the provider, not go we like okay. How many times in your lifespan, span, how many relationships have you been in that did not work? How many? How many marriages were you in? How many girlfriends did you have? How many boyfriends did you have? That did not work. Why? Because you are a lion that is on the prowl, and because of that, you are hungry. But the word says, those who seek God are full of God. I read it to you again. Young lions on the prowl get hungry, but God seekers are full of God. Why? Because that gives us everything that we need, because he's the provider. But see, when we become distracted in dating, see, we are distracted by what we see. See, we keep trying to date people because they look good. Looks are not going to do it. It's not just looks. Dating is so much deeper than looks. And you know what's crazy? It's like, okay, so me at 35, right? So me at 35 years old, what I am looking for at 35 years old is so different than what I look for at 25. What I look for at 35 is different than what I look for at 30. So what does that mean? In the moment, I am only seeking what benefits me in that space. That's why we can't trust what we see. That's why we have to walk by faith and allow God to provide, because we will keep looking for things that suffice in the moment. And then when we are out of that moment, that thing that was a sufficer in the moment will no longer work. And now you're out looking again, rather than being full of God. You know, I have said it. We started this when February. We started this platform in February, right? And February, March, April, May. Okay, so fourth month essentially, right? And so you got to look at it, because I've said it multiple times. I've said, man, there's no manual for dating. Like, there's no playbook for dating. And I like those words when I was working in my prayer time this morning. Those words came up, that there is no playbook for dating. And I'm like, God, you put everything in the Bible. Why didn't you give us a manual or an outline for dating? And God started to download to me, son, I gave you the outline for dating. It's in the word, but you all are approaching it the wrong way. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me not get to this. Okay. I want you to think about it like this. So when you say Jehovah Jireh, that is my provider, right? Jehovah Jireh, that is my provider. Okay. So if it is his job as God to provide, and I'm not trying to be super really, I don't want anybody to be, oh my God, no, no, no. I'm just giving you the real. This is what's in the text. This is what's in the word. And a lot of times we don't like what's in the word. We want to try to fit it and formulate it to what we think works for us. But we got to begin to stand on the word as it stands. So if God is Jehovah Jireh, our provider, my job is to not continue to try to do his job, but trust him to carry out what he said he's already done. Okay, you think about it like this. So if I tell you, um, we're gonna go to dinner and I'm gonna cover the meal, like I got it, it's on me today, right? Like I'm gonna treat you guys to a meal. You should be able to walk into whatever said restaurant. Don't even bring a wallet. Don't bring cash. Don't bring anything because you are fully relaxed and at peace knowing George said he is going to cover the meal so I don't have to do anything but show up and enjoy. George gave instructions what time to be there. What's the name of the restaurant? If there was a dress code, any of those things. Instructions have been provided. Just like God has given us instructions, our job is to now follow those instructions. Stop seeking people, but seek God. See, we walk by faith, not by sight. Because you got to understand, sight will always tell you what you are believing for is not possible. But I want to help you understand something. A lot of things that we depend on in today's society had to be created and invented by someone. And you have to think about it. When you are inventing something, that means you are doing something that has never been done before. That is why you are called an inventor, right? You are doing something that's never been done. So how can you have the eyes or the vision to see something that's never been created and created? Without faith. Without faith. How can you? Right? How can you? How could the Wright brothers like just wake up one day and say, we can fly? And start to go through the process of creating planes and fail proofs to learn to fly. Somebody, I guarantee you that there were people that looked at them and said, we don't belong in the sky, baby. God gave us legs to walk. Birds belong in the sky, not us. Just like you, I don't care what age you are, that's still believing for something, and somebody in your corner or in your fan club is telling you, baby, that's not for you. At this age, you just better get used to where you are. You have to stand in faith and say, I trust Jehovah Jireh as my provider, and I will continue to seek God. I will continue to seek God because the word says that those who seek God are full of God. Do you understand that if you are full, that means you do not have an appetite for anything else? Like you think about that. When you get full, you no longer have an appetite. You only have an appetite when you are hungry, when your stomach is empty. But the moment you get full, you can push back from the table. No, I'm good. I'm good. So God says, when you seek me and you are full of me, you don't have to look, you don't have to hunt, you don't have to go find because you are already full because I have provided you with all that you need. It's really simple, right? When you really start to simplify it and break it down, God is really giving you a playbook for how to live life. And God, if we go back to the beginning, because our pastor always says you must start in Genesis because it is the first book. That is God outlining to you who He is. So He shows you how He created the earth and how He created everything in it. He spoke, He spoke, He spoke, He spoke. And the word says that the power of life and death is in your tongue. You have the power to speak. So now I'm going to ask you in this single phase, what are you speaking to? What are you calling in? Are you calling in, God, I thank you that you are doing a good work in me. And whatever needs to be perfected and worked on in me for the appropriate person, I thank you that you are showing me now so that I can begin to work on those things. But see, it's hard to work on what you have to work on when you are dating the wrong people and you keep taking on what they have to work on. And you keep, my mom used to tell me, this is back some time ago, but she would say, son, because I talk to my mom. My mom's my best friend. We talk about a lot of stuff, right? And so, like in conversations, my mom would always say, son, you like a project, like you like something that you have to kind of work on and kind of build up and da 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 da. Like that's what you like. But son, you gotta understand, you cannot save everybody. It is not your job to save everybody. It's not your job to fix everybody. I had to come to that realization. I gotta work on me and trust God to continue. Am I flawed right now? Absolutely, we all are. I can't act like I'm perfect because I'm not, and neither are you. We are flawed, absolutely. And so we've got to continue to seek God so that we are full of God. And so we continue to work on those things that are flawed. Check one box. Okay, now I can move on to the next. Check one box. Now I can move on to the next. Because God is who we should be what? Dating. That is why I said dating the big distraction, because we become so zeroed in and locked in having that person. You hear people say, man, oh my God, like I'm looking for someone to complete me. Wrong answer. God is the completion. You can't look for somebody to complete something. See, if that tells me right then your alignment is off. You keep veering to the left, your alignment is off. Because in all actuality, when you are full of God, as you should be, there's not a desire for that. God, I'm full of you. And I know because I'm full, you will now do what? Provide. Because that is what you said you are here to do. Jehovah Jireh, my provider. You can look all through the Bible and God shows you how he continues to provide. What was the biggest issue with the children of Israel? It was their lack of faith. No matter how much God provided for them, they still doubted. In every situation, God provided, they doubted. God provided, they doubted. God provided, they doubted. What? Y'all said y'all were hungry. Y'all were hungry. I'm talking about the children of Israel. Y'all are hungry in the camp. Okay, don't worry about it. Y'all go outside. I'm going to rain manna down from heaven. And here's the crazy part about it. What makes God so amazing is God said the manna would taste like whatever each person desired. God was showing you right then, I know what you want, and I know how to give you what you want. But you have to be in a place to receive what it is I've already provided for you. So that means like everybody in the children of Israel in the camp, like if you wanted ribs, your manna tasted like ribs. If you wanted sour cream and onion, yours tasted like sour cream and onion. I know some of y'all real nasty. Y'all like salt and vinegar. If you wanted salt and vinegar, bow, yours tasted like salt and vinegar. He said, I didn't have to ask you. I know what you need, and I've already provided it for you. So he provided for the children of Israel, but check out how quick they missed the assignment. He said, go out and get enough of what you need for what? Today. Guess what they were trying to do? They was like, nah, he ain't gonna provide for tomorrow, so we got to get something for tomorrow and the next day. And that soon spoiled in their house because God was trying to teach them a principle that we in 2024 are still attempting to learn. God will provide for us daily. The word says he is our daily bread, not our monthly bread, not our yearly bread. He is our daily bread. So if you seek him daily, everything that you need in that 24-hour span, God will show you that I've already provided it for you. So what was next for the children of Israel? Okay, okay, y'all was tired of manna one day. So okay, cool. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Tomorrow, I'm going to send quail to the camp. Quail, a bird that flies. I'm going to send quail to the camp. And because I'm God and my words cannot turn to me void, this bird that flies, I'm going to have it fly into the camp where you all are, and it won't run. Y'all just go out and get what you need for your meal today. God was trying to teach a principle. Seek me and I provide for you. Don't in dating, seek God and God provides the perfect person for you. And when I say perfect, I'm not like, no, nobody's perfect, but I'm saying God provides the appropriate person for you. Let me say it like that. You seek God, God provides the appropriate person for you. We can't seek what looks good. We can't seek what feels good. We can't seek what we think is the answer because God said, come to me first and I provide. That is how dating is supposed to happen. I ain't dating you, baby. I'm dating God. What you mean? I am dating God. Because if I date God, I don't have to keep failing out here. You would think that you would get it after failed marriage 1 or failed marriage 2, or I don't care how many failed relationships there are. You would think that you cannot do it on your own. There has to be another plan. Oh man, it was a text I wanted to get before I close. Golly, I can't remember which one it was. It was a different translation. It wasn't. I'll talk about it next time we get together because there's another translation where it spoke to us being tired of failing and us being tired of being hurt. And if you are tired of being hurt, then you must understand that I got to try to do it a different way. What is that? What do you mean when you say do it a different way, George? Seek God. No longer can we continue to waste days being like a hungry lion on the prowl. Okay, let me say this and I'm closing right here. I love National Geographic. Like I love watching National Geographic about like I love to watch animals and how they are in their natural habitat. Like I will sit in my house and watch it for hours, right? And so the thing about it is sometimes those animals, like lions that we talk about the most ferocious animal, do you know that there are times that lions will die from hunger because they cannot find food? They are on the prowl, but they cannot find it. So I think that parallel, this is me and my spiritual imagination, but that parallel of the text was so on point when it says, let me read it to you. The parallel of the text was so on point. Oh man, where was it? What was it? Psalms 34 and 8. Yeah. Psalms 34, 8 through 10. Psalms 34, 8 through 10. Let's get there quick. Psalms 34, 8 through 10. Young lions on the prowl get hungry, but God seekers are full of God. See, I think that parallel showed you young lions on the prowl can die with hunger in their heart and with hunger in their mind. So when you look at me and you say, man, I'm at this big old age that I am and I'm still single, it's because you are on the prowl. You are not seeking God, but you are seeking your own doing. You're like, I think I want this person. I think I want that person. I want my person to look like this. No, stop, cut that. I want my person to be whatever God called them to be. God, whoever you send, God, just help me so that I am prepared and I am ready for the person that you have ordained for me. That's the posture. That's the position. We can no longer be distracted by dating because you do understand, like, we can waste years dating, years in relationships, and you have nothing to show for it. Rather than being submissive and saying, God, you know what? It's not on me. You are the provider. You provide what? As y'all said in the text, you provide everything. So if you provide everything, I'm going to get out your way. And I'm just going to submit to your will because your will is the only thing that will reign supreme in this earth. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I will catch you guys next week. I hope that I appreciate you guys for truly tuning in and checking us out. But I hope that you guys have a phenomenal week, and I will be back. Listen, next Monday is Memorial Day. My plate, my choice is next Monday, which is Memorial Day. Do not lose the things that we have been working on because you're excited for the barbecue. Stay on track. Remain disciplined. Got it?